I want a divorce. Her words didn't shake. They landed like a blade pressed against my throat. Calm, sharp, final. I stared at Lena across the dining table. The papers sat between us like a corpse. You're serious? My voice cracked. Even though I tried to steady it, I've never been more serious. She leaned back, folding her arms. This isn't working. We're done, Ethan. I swallowed hard. After everything, after all these years, you're just done? She tilted her head, no hesitation in her eyes. Yes. I laughed under my breath. You don't even sound sad. What's the point of dragging emotions into this? It's over. Don't make it messy. Messy? I leaned forward. You're breaking our vows, Lena. How is that not messy? You're the one dragging it out. Sign the papers. Move on. I stared at the pen lying next to the stack. My chest felt tight. So that's it? I'm just supposed to erase everything? It was erased a long time ago, she said flatly. You just didn't notice. My hand clenched. You could have told me earlier. We could have fought. For this. There was nothing left to fight for. I slammed my hand against the table, the sound echoing through the hollow house. I loved you. I still love you. Doesn't that mean anything? She flinched but recovered fast. Love isn't enough, Ethan. You'll see it's better this way. I shook my head. Better? For who? Because it sure as hell isn't better for me. Her lips pressed together, her eyes narrowing. You'll regret making this harder. No, I whispered. I'll regret believing in you. For a moment, silence stretched. The only sound was the clock ticking on the wall. Finally, she pushed the papers toward me. Just sign. My chest burned, but pride held me up. If she wanted me gone, then I'd give her what she wanted. My hand trembled as I picked up the pen. You don't even care enough to fight me, I muttered, scribbling my name across the line. I care enough to be honest, she said, her tone icy. That's more than pretending. I dropped the pen and shoved the papers back at her. Congratulations, Lena, you win. Her face didn't flicker. She slid the documents into her bag. You'll thank me someday. Don't count on it. She stood, her heels clicking against the floor. At the door, she paused. Goodbye, Ethan. I couldn't answer. My throat felt like sand. She walked out, and the sound of the door closing was louder than any scream. I stayed at the table long after she left. The silence pressed against me like a weight. I muttered to myself, that's it. Just like that. The chair beside me was empty, but I spoke to it anyway. Remember when you said forever? Remember when you promised to stand by me even when things got hard? My voice cracked. Guess those words meant nothing. The wedding photo on the wall caught my eye. Her smile looked different there. Bright, soft, full of promises that turned to dust. Was it all a lie? I asked the air. My phone buzzed on the table. Daniel's name lit up the screen. I answered with a hoarse, What? Bro, Lena just called me? Daniel said quickly. Is it true? Did she? She wanted a divorce. I cut him off. I signed. Silence. Then, Ethan, you didn't even try. What was I supposed to try, huh? Beg her to love me again? My voice rose. She made up her mind, Daniel. She was ice cold. No hesitation. Daniel sighed heavily. You're gonna regret signing. So fast. I already regret trusting her, I shot back. Listen, maybe she's confused. Maybe, no, she's not confused. I rubbed my temples. She was clear. Too clear. Damn it, Ethan. His voice softened. You don't deserve this. Doesn't matter what I deserve. I stared at the papers she'd left behind. She's gone. That's all that matters now. Daniel hesitated. Want me to come over? No. I swallowed hard. I don't want anyone here. Not tonight. All right, but don't do anything stupid. I won't. The words tasted bitter. Thanks, Daniel. I hung up before he could answer. The house creaked, settling into its own emptiness. I wandered through the living room, touching the couch where we used to sit together, the kitchen where she used to laugh while cooking. Now, everything felt hollow. I stopped at the bedroom door. The sheets were still messy from that morning. My chest tightened. I whispered to myself, "You said I'd regret it, Lena, but I regret you." The words lingered in the air, heavy and final. I closed the door and let the silence swallow me whole. The house felt louder without her. Every step echoed like a reminder of what I'd lost. I stared at the wedding photo on the wall. "Lena, you swore forever," I whispered. "Guess forever expires fast." My phone buzzed. Daniel's voice filled the silence. "Ethan, open the damn door." "I'm outside." I sighed and let him in. He stepped inside, scanning the room. "Man, this place feels like a grave." "That's because it is," I muttered. He looked at the table at the missing papers. "So it's done? You really signed?" "Yes." "Just like that?" His voice rose. "Ethan, what the hell were you thinking?" "I was thinking she didn't want me anymore. What else was I supposed to do? Chain her to me? You could have fought for her," I snapped. "Fight for what? For someone who looked me in the eyes and told me she didn't love me? For a marriage that was already dead?" Daniel flinched at my tone but pressed on. "Sometimes people say things they don't mean." "She meant it," I cut him off. "Every damn word." Her eyes told me everything. He sank onto the couch. "So that's it? Years of love? Gone in one night?" I sat across from him, rubbing my temples. It wasn't one night. The cracks were there. I just pretended not to see them. Daniel frowned. "What cracks?" I let out a bitter laugh. The late nights at work, the excuses, the way she stopped laughing at my stupid jokes, the way she pulled her hand away when I reached for it. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I didn't want it to be true." Daniel leaned forward. "So you just let it rot?" "I thought she'd come back to me," I said quietly. "I thought love would be enough." He shook his head. "You've always been too damn loyal. Loyalty isn't a crime." "No. But giving it to the wrong person is..." I looked away, my eyes burning. She used to say I was her anchor. She used to tell me she couldn't breathe without me. And now she's gone like I never existed. Daniel's voice softened. "You're not the only one hurting, Ethan." I glared at him. "Don't you dare defend her." "I'm not. I'm just saying maybe she's broken too. She made the choice to walk away. That's not broken, Daniel. That's betrayal." He ran a hand through his hair. "So what now? You gonna sit here drowning in ghosts?" "What else can I do?" I muttered. "Live. Fight. Move on." I laughed bitterly. "Easier said than done. You think you're the first guy to get left behind? You think you're the only one who's had their heart torn out?" "I don't care about anyone else. This is my hell." He sighed. "You're right. But hell doesn't last forever unless you build a house there." I stared at him, silent. He continued. "I know you, Ethan. You're stubborn as hell. If you can give everything to a woman who didn't deserve it, then you can damn sure give something to yourself." I clenched my fists. "What if I don't want to?" "Then she wins." The words hit me harder than I expected. "Don't let her take more than she already has," Daniel pressed. "She left you with nothing, but nothing can be rebuilt." I leaned back, closing my eyes. "You make it sound simple." "It's not simple. It's survival," I whispered. "I don't even know who I am without her." "Then it's time you find out," he said firmly. Silence settled again, heavier, but different. Daniel stood. "I'll be back tomorrow. Don't drown alone." "Daniel?" My voice cracked. "Yeah? Thanks." He gave me a small smile. "You'll get through this, one way or another." When the door closed, I was alone again. I turned back to The wedding photo. Her smile mocked me from the frame. "You promised me forever," I whispered. "And I was stupid enough to believe you." The words echoed back at me, sharp as broken glass. Daniel showed up again the next night with 2 beers. He dropped one in front of me. "You look worse than yesterday," he muttered. "Thanks for the compliment." I cracked the bottle open, took a long drink, and set it down hard. He studied me. "Something's eating at you. More than just divorce papers." I rubbed my face. "Because there is more." He leaned in. "Talk." I hesitated, then whispered, "She didn't leave me for freedom. She left me for someone else." Daniel's eyes widened. "What? Who?" I clenched my jaw. "Ryan!" For a moment, he said nothing. Then his bottle hit the table with a thud. "Ryan Brooks? Your colleague Ryan? The guy you've called your brother for years?" "Yeah." "Jesus Christ." He pushed back in his chair. "Tell me you're joking." I wish I was. "How the hell did you find out?" I stared at the floor. "I went to drop off her keys at her office. I thought it would be quick. But then I saw them. Together." Daniel's voice turned sharp. "Together how?" Her hand was in his. She was smiling at him like she used to smile at me. And then she kissed him. Right there. No shame. Daniel cursed under his breath. "That bastard, that snake." I laughed bitterly. "The guy who stood beside me at my wedding, who toasted to our happiness, he was stealing her the whole time." "Ethan, I cut him off. You know what hurts most? I trusted him. I defended him at work when people called him ambitious and cutthroat. I said he was loyal. Loyal." Daniel's fists clenched. "He deserves to be crushed, both of them." "I already feel crushed," I muttered. "No, man, listen. You can't let them walk all over you. This isn't just betrayal. This is war." I looked at him, my throat tight. "What do you want me to do? March into work and expose them? Scream? In their faces?" "That won't change the fact she chose him. You can't just sit here and bleed either." I slammed my fist on the table. "Then tell me what the hell I should do." Daniel leaned forward, his eyes fierce. "Make them regret it." I shook my head. "Revenge won't bring my marriage back." "No, but it'll give you back your pride." I swallowed hard. "My pride's already gone. She ripped it out when she looked me in the eyes and told me she was done." Daniel's voice softened. "Ethan, you can't keep blaming yourself. You didn't deserve this," I whispered. "Then why does it feel like I did?" He grabbed my shoulder. "Because you loved her too much. You gave her everything, and she took advantage." I pulled away, standing. "I feel like an idiot. Every late night she spent at the office, every excuse about meetings. I believed her. I cooked alone while she was with him." Daniel stood too. "That's on them, not you." "Don't you get it?" My voice cracked. "She was already gone before. She asked for the divorce. I was just too blind to see it." Daniel's fist shook. "Ryan's going to pay for this. I'll make sure of it." I glared at him. "This isn't your fight." "Like hell it isn't. He betrayed you, Ethan. And me too." He sat at my family's table. He smiled at us like nothing was wrong. My chest tightened. I don't even know who to hate more, him for taking her or her for letting him. "Both," Daniel snapped. I dropped back onto the couch, burying my face in my hands. I can't even breathe when I think about them together. Daniel sat beside me. Then, "Stop thinking about them." "How?" I asked bitterly. "By turning the pain into fire." I looked at him. "And burn who?" He didn't hesitate. "Ryan, Lena, anyone who thought you were weak." I sat in silence, the words clawing at my chest. Daniel added, "You're not the victim here. You're the storm waiting to hit." I let out a bitter laugh. "Then why do I feel like the wreckage instead?" "Because it's fresh," he said firmly. "But wreckage can rebuild. Storms never forget." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. I trusted him with everything: work, friendship, even my marriage, and he stuck the knife in my back. Daniel's jaw tightened. Then take it out. Ethan, use it. The room went quiet. Only my heartbeat filled the silence. I whispered, Ryan Brooks, my brother, my betrayer. The words tasted like blood. The office lights burned my eyes, but the numbers on the screen wouldn't stay still. I slammed the laptop shut and muttered, "What's the point?" Daniel called that night. "You didn't show up for work drinks again," he said. "I wasn't in the mood." "You're never in the mood. Ethan, you're drowning." "I'm breathing, aren't I?" "That's not living." I sighed. Then maybe living isn't for me anymore. He went silent. "Don't talk like that." "I'm fine." "No, you're not." His voice hardened. "You're wasting away in that damn house." "I can't just flip a switch and forget her, Daniel." "Nobody said forget. I said move." I hung up before he could push further. The next evening, there was a knock on my door. I almost ignored it, but it wouldn't stop. When I opened it, a soft voice said, "Ethan." It was Claire, Daniel's younger sister. I frowned. "Why are you here?" She held up a bag. "Daniel thought you wouldn't eat unless someone forced you." "He was right, wasn't he?" I muttered. "I'm not hungry." "Too bad." She walked past me and set the bag on the counter. I watched her unpack food. "You didn't have to do this." "I know, but you look like you'll collapse if someone doesn't." I sank into a chair. "I don't even taste food anymore. Everything's just ash." Claire sat across from me, her eyes steady. "Then eat the ash. At least you'll stay alive." I gave a weak laugh. "You sound harsher than your brother." "Daniel talks too much. I just tell the truth." Stared at the steaming plate she pushed toward me. "Truth is, none of this matters." Her voice softened. "It matters to the people who don't want to lose you." "Then why do I feel like nobody needs me?" I didn't say need. I said, don't want to lose. I looked at her. Same difference? No, Ethan. Needing someone can change. Wanting them to stay alive doesn't. Her words cut through the fog. I picked at the food, chewing without taste. She nodded slightly. "Better," I muttered. I still hear her laughter at night. It's like she's haunting me. Claire's eyes darkened. "That's because you gave her too much space in your head. She doesn't deserve the rent she's not paying." I let out a bitter chuckle. "You're ruthless." "Realistic," she corrected. Silence hung for a while. Finally she asked, "Do you hate her?" I froze. "I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I hate myself more." "Why?" "For being blind. For loving her too much. For not seeing Ryan smirk when he sat beside me at work." Claire's gaze was steady. "Loving someone isn't weakness, Ethan. Betraying that love is," I whispered. "Then why do I still feel like the weak one?" "Because you're bleeding. And wounds make people feel weaker than they are." I rubbed my face. "What if I never heal?" "Then keep walking with the limp," she said softly. "But don't stop walking." The room grew quiet again. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel completely hollow. Claire stood. "I'll come by tomorrow, and the day after, until you stop looking like a ghost." "You don't have to." "I want to," she interrupted. I swallowed. "Thank you," she gave me a small smile. "Eat more next time, or I'll cook myself, and that will be worse." I almost smiled back. Noted. When the door closed behind her, I sat staring at the half-empty plate. The food still tasted like dust, but the silence didn't feel as heavy. For once, I wasn't drowning alone. I was pouring coffee in the break room when two coworkers whispered behind me, "Did you hear? Ryan's deal collapsed. Total disaster." "Yeah, clients pulled out last minute. Graves is furious." I froze, the mug halfway to my lips. One of them lowered her voice. "He's on thin ice. Might not last the quarter." They noticed me and went quiet. I turned slowly. "What happened?" "Nothing," one muttered, hurrying out. But I'd heard enough. Later that day, Mr. Graves summoned. His office was cold, walls bare except for certificates. He gestured to the chair. "Ethan," he said, his voice clipped. "You worked with Brooks on the Halford account, didn't you?" "Yes, sir." "Explain why it failed." I kept my tone calm. Ryan cut corners. He ignored the risk reports I flagged. Graves narrowed his eyes. "You have proof?" I slid a file across the desk. "Emails, memos, everything I sent. He dismissed it." Graves flipped through the pages, his jaw tightening. Finally, he shut the file. "You're thorough, loyal, not like him." I stayed silent. He leaned forward. "Brooks thinks charm will save him. But charm doesn't close deals. Work does. You've been steady. He's been reckless. I know who I can rely on." "Thank you, sir." Graves waved me off. "Keep doing your job. Leave Brooks to me." That evening, Daniel called. "You heard about Ryan, right?" His voice was laced with satisfaction. "I heard." Daniel laughed darkly. "Karma's a beast." Finally chewing him up. I muttered, "Doesn't change what he took from me." "No, but admit it. It feels good." I hesitated. "A little." "A little?" He scoffed. "Come on, Ethan. The guy stabbed you in the back and now he's bleeding out at work. That's justice." "Justice doesn't fix my chest." Daniel sighed. "You're too soft. I'd be celebrating." Maybe that's the difference between us. Days later, I ran into Ryan in the lobby. His perfect smile was gone. His tie was loose, eyes bloodshot. He forced a grin. "Ethan, long time." I stared. "Not long enough." He winced. "Look, about Lena." "Don't!" My voice was sharp. "You made your choice. She made hers." His fake grin slipped. She's not making things easy," I smirked. "Did you think she would?" He shifted uncomfortably. I thought she wanted me." "Maybe she did. Just not the way you expected." He opened his mouth, then shut it again. For the first time, he looked small. I walked past him without another word. At home, Claire stopped by with groceries. "You're eating better," she observed. "Work's been interesting," I admitted. She raised an eyebrow. "Interesting how?" I hesitated. "Ryan's falling apart." Her lips curved into a thin smile. "Good," I blinked. "That's all you're going to say?" "Yes. Good. He deserves every crack in his perfect mask." I laughed softly. "You sound colder than Graves." "Not cold," she said evenly. "Fair. He betrayed you. He betrayed everyone. Why pity him?" "Because I know what it feels like to fall." She studied me. "And yet you didn't push him." "No, I didn't have to." Her voice softened. "That's the power of karma, Ethan. You don't need revenge. Life already chose sides." I looked at her, the corner of my mouth twitching. "You're wiser than your brother." "Don't tell him that," she said, almost smiling. A week later, Mr. Graves called another meeting. Ryan sat across the table, pale and sweating. Graves didn't waste words. "Brooks, your negligence cost us millions. Effective immediately, you're suspended pending review." Ryan's eyes darted around, landing on me. "This is a setup. Ethan, tell him—" I met his gaze, calm. "The reports were clear. You ignored them." Graves slammed his folder shut. "Enough. Leave your badge at the desk." Ryan looked like a drowning man. "Ethan, please." I leaned back. "You made your bed." His shoulders sagged as security escorted him out. That night, Daniel called again. "Tell me it was glorious," he said eagerly. I exhaled. "It was something." "You watched him burn, didn't you?" "Yes." And I felt nothing. Daniel was silent, then muttered, "Nothing?" Watching him fall didn't heal me. It just reminded me of the hole inside me. "Ethan." I thought karma would feel like victory, but it just feels like ashes. The line went quiet. I whispered, maybe there is no winning when the knife's already in your back. I stared at my reflection. Dark circles, hollow eyes, shoulders slumped. I muttered, I don't even recognize you. The man in the mirror didn't answer, but I kept talking anyway. You're weak, you're bitter, you're lost. Is this what she left behind? The silence stung. I clenched the sink. No, not anymore. Either stay buried or crawl out. The next morning, I laced up old running shoes. Daniel spotted me outside. Are you running? He asked, stunned. Yeah, he smirked. Since when do you run? Since I decided I don't want to rot anymore. He studied me, then nodded. Good. Don't stop. I ran until my lungs burned. For once, pain felt like proof I was alive. At work, Graves pulled me aside. You've been sharper lately, he said. Trying to be, I replied. Keep it up. Not everyone falls apart when life guts them. Some rise. His words lingered as I walked back to my desk. That's when I met her. Hi, you must be Ethan, a cheerful voice said. I turned. A woman with bright eyes extended her hand. Amelia, I'm new here. I shook her hand. Welcome. Brace yourself. This place eats people alive. She grinned. Then I'll bite back. I raised an eyebrow. Confident. Not confident, she corrected. Prepared. Her energy was like sunlight in a room I thought would stay dark forever. Later, she stopped by my desk. Can I ask you something? She said. Depends. Why does everyone whisper about you? I smirked. What do they say? That you used to be quiet, broken even, but lately you're different, stronger. I leaned back. Because I got tired of being a ghost. She tilted her head. Ghosts don't fight back. You look like you're fighting. Maybe I am. She studied me. Then keep fighting. Most people never get back up once they've been knocked down. I gave a small smile. You're surprisingly motivational for a new hire. Maybe I've been through my own battles, she said softly. Something in her tone told me not to press, so I didn't. That evening, Claire dropped by again with groceries. You've been running, she observed, eyeing my sneakers by the door. Trying to change, I admitted. Her lips curved slightly. Good. I was worried you'd drown forever. Not this time. She studied me quietly. You're starting to sound like yourself again. I shook my head. No, I'm starting to sound like someone new. The next day at work, Amelia caught me in the break room. Coffee? She asked, holding out a cup. Thanks. I took it, surprised. You didn't have to. I wanted to. You've been helping me settle in. I chuckled. Barely. She leaned against the counter. You look like someone who's rebuilding. Rebuilding what? Himself, she said simply. I stared at her. Why do you care? Because people who rebuild inspire others. And I like being inspired. Her words hit deeper than I expected. That night, Daniel called again. You sound different, he said immediately. How so? Less dead. More alive. I laughed. Thanks, I guess. He paused. This Amelia, should I be worried? She's just a coworker. Uh-huh. I sighed. Daniel, not everything is about replacing Lena. I know, but it's nice hearing life in your voice again. Lying in bed later, I whispered to myself, I'm not living for her anymore. I'm living for me. The words didn't feel empty this time. They felt like truth. My phone rang late at night. I almost didn't answer when I saw her name. Ethan, Lena's voice cracked. I stayed silent. Please, I need to talk to you. I finally muttered. You have a lot of nerve calling me. I know. I wouldn't, if I had anyone else. I let out a bitter laugh. What happened, Lena? Ryan not answering your calls? She sniffled. He left me. For someone younger. He used me. I clenched my jaw. Used you? Or did you finally taste what you fed me? Please don't. Her voice broke. I can't breathe, Ethan. I've lost everything. Now you know what it feels like. The next day, she showed up at my apartment. Her eyes were red, her makeup smeared. Let me in, she whispered. Against my better judgment, I stepped aside. She collapsed onto the couch. Ethan, I made a mistake. I folded my arms. A mistake is spilling coffee. You destroyed a marriage. Her voice shook. I thought Ryan loved me. And I thought you loved me, I shot back. She covered her face. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't know where else to go. Go home, I muttered. I can't. My parents won't even look at me. They said I shamed them. They're right. I froze. Your parents know? She nodded, tears streaming. They told me I ruined the only man who cared about me. Smart people, I said coldly. She reached for my hand. Ethan, please. I don't need pity. I just need you. I pulled back. You threw me away. Her voice cracked. I was blind. I thought Ryan was strength, but he was selfish. You were the strong one. Too late, I said quietly. The doorbell rang again. When I opened it, Lena's parents stood there awkward and ashamed. Ethan, her father said softly, we came to apologize. I frowned. For what? For her. For the pain she caused you. He glanced at Lena, disgust in his eyes. She lost a good man. We failed raising her right. Her mother added, we begged her not to do this. She didn't listen. Lena sobbed. Stop it, please. Her father's voice was sharp. You deserve this, Lena, and Ethan deserves peace. I swallowed hard. You don't need to apologize to me. I don't want anything from her, or you. Her mother touched my arm gently. Still, we are sorry. They left without looking back at their daughter. Lena collapsed again. Even they hate me now, I muttered. Actions have consequences. She looked up at me, desperate. Do you still hate me? I hesitated. I don't know what I feel anymore, but love? That's gone. She tried again. Ethan, give me another chance. We can rebuild. I'll spend the rest of my life making it right. I shook my head slowly. You think trust is a house you can glue back together. It's rubble, Lena. Dust. I can change. You already did, I snapped. Into someone I don't recognize. She grabbed my sleeve. Don't do this. Please. I'm begging. You. I stared at her trembling hands, her broken face. Once, I would have died to protect her. Now, I only felt empty. Do you remember the day you asked me to sign? I whispered, her eyes filled with fresh tears. Yes. You said I'd regret it. I was wrong. No, I cut in. You were right. I regretted it, but not because I lost you. I regretted ever loving you. She sobbed harder, her voice breaking. Don't say that. It's the truth, Claire called that evening. Daniel told me she's back. She came crawling, I admitted. What? Did you do? I listened. Then I walked away. Claire's voice was quiet but firm. Good. Don't let her drag you down again. She's broken, Claire. She broke herself. Don't confuse guilt with love. I sat in silence. Claire added, Strength means walking away, Ethan, even when she's on her knees. I whispered, I already did. Then keep walking. When I returned to the living room, Lena was still on the couch. Where are you going? She asked weakly. Away from this. She tried to stand. Don't leave me alone. You left me alone a long time ago, I said flatly. Her sobs followed me to the door, but I didn't turn back. Out in the night air, I breathed deeply. For the first time, her tears didn't weaken me. They freed me. She wanted the man she threw away, but that man no longer existed. I was someone new, and I was finally done with her. Mr. Graves called me into his office. "Ethan," he said curtly, "the Beaumont contract is on your desk. You'll lead negotiations." I nodded. "Understood." He added, "Ryan's future depends on that contract. If it fails, he's finished." My chest tightened. "So it's in my hands." "Yes," Graves said flatly. "Don't fail." Later, Daniel stormed into my apartment when he heard. "You're telling me you control Ryan's lifeline?" he asked, eyes wide. "Looks like it." He grinned fiercely. "Then cut it. End him. It's perfect karma." I shook my head. "It's not that simple." "Not that simple?" He slammed the table. "He stole your wife, your life. This is the universe handing you the knife back," I muttered. "And if I stab, what does that make me?" "Human," Daniel snapped. "Finally, giving him what he deserves." I stared at the floor. "Or bitter, just like him." Daniel leaned closer. "Don't go soft. This is your chance." Claire came by later. She listened quietly as I explained. "So you could destroy him with one decision," she said softly. "Yes. And you're hesitating." "I don't know if it's revenge or justice anymore." She tilted her head. "What's the difference?" "Revenge is me bleeding him to feel better. Justice is him getting what he deserves regardless of me." She studied me. "Which one are you after?" I whispered. "That's the problem. I don't know." Claire placed a hand on mine. "Ask yourself, if you destroy him, will you finally breathe? Or will you still feel the same emptiness?" I exhaled sharply. "Probably empty." "Then don't do it for him. Do it for you. Choose what makes you stronger, not smaller." The next day, Ryan cornered me in the parking lot. His voice was strained. "Ethan, listen, I know Beaumont's on your desk. Please, don't let it slip." I glared at him. "You're begging me?" "Yes, my career's on the line. If I lose this, I'm done." I smirked bitterly. "Now you know how it feels to have everything hanging by a thread." He swallowed hard. "I screwed up. With Lena. With you. But don't destroy me at work." I stepped closer. "You destroyed me everywhere else." He lowered his head. "I'm sorry." The word rang hollow. "Sorry doesn't erase betrayal," I hissed. "I know, but I'm asking for a chance to fix something. Just this one thing." My hands shook with rage and temptation. "Why should I?" "Because you're better than me," he said quietly. "And if you crush me, you'll prove you're not." That night, I sat staring at the contract. My pen hovered over the line that could tank him. Daniel called again. "Well, did you end him?" "I'm still deciding." "You're insane. Don't waste this." I muttered. Maybe the real revenge is not caring anymore. Daniel groaned. "That's weakness. Or strength. Ethan, I'll call you back." I hung up. I whispered to the empty room. Do I burn him? Or do I burn the man I used to be? The silence didn't answer, but my chest did. I realized I didn't want Ryan to define me anymore. The pen slid across the paper, signing, securing the deal, ensuring the company's success. His survival didn't matter. My integrity did. The next morning, Graves eyed me. "Beaumont signed?" "Yes, sir." "Excellent." He paused. "Ryan owes you his career." I said nothing. Ryan approached me afterward, cautious. "You saved me," he muttered. "No," I said coldly. "I saved myself." He blinked. "I don't understand." "You will. One day." I turned and walked away. That night, Claire asked, "So what did you choose?" "I chose me," I said simply. She smiled faintly. "Then you've already won." For the first time, I believed her. Daniel barged into my place with 2 beers in hand. "Well?" he demanded. "Tell me you crushed Ryan." I shook my head. "No, I didn't." His eyes went wide. "What? After everything, why the hell not?" "Because revenge wouldn't make me whole. It would just make me him." Daniel scoffed. "You're telling me you let him walk?" "I didn't let him walk. I let myself walk away. He dropped onto the couch, groaning. Unbelievable. You had the chance to bury him. I don't need to bury anyone, I said quietly. They're already drowning in their own mess. Daniel laughed bitterly. You've gone soft. No, I corrected. I've gone strong. Claire showed up later, carrying her usual bag of groceries. Why do you always bring food? I asked, half smiling. Because you'd live on coffee and regret without me, she teased. I chuckled. Fair enough. She set the bag down and looked at me. So, what happened with the contract? I signed. Saved the deal. Ryan gets to keep breathing. Her eyes softened. You didn't take revenge. No. And how do you feel? I paused, then answered, free. She smiled gently. That's because you chose yourself, not them. I studied her. Why? Do you always sound like you know me better than I do? Because I actually pay attention, Daniel cut in, still fuming. Claire, don't encourage him. He let the bastard off easy. Claire turned to him sharply. No, he didn't. He let go of the poison. That's harder than revenge, Daniel scoffed. Spare me the philosophy. I wanted fireworks. Not everything needs to explode, Claire shot back. Sometimes victory is silence. I raised my hands. Enough. This isn't about Ryan anymore. It's about me. Daniel eyed me. So who are you now? I leaned back, exhaling slowly. Not the broken man who signed those papers, not the fool who begged for love. I'm someone else. Claire's gaze was warm. Stronger. Wiser, I added. Daniel groaned again. Fine, fine. You're Gandhi now, but I still think you should have destroyed him. I laughed for the first time in months. Maybe, but I don't need to. That's the difference. Later that night, Claire lingered as Daniel left. You really mean it, don't you? She asked softly. Mean what? That you're done with hate. I nodded. I carried it long enough. It nearly killed me. Letting go feels lighter. She gave me a smile that felt like sunlight. Good, because you deserve more than pain. Her words hit me harder than I expected. I whispered. For the first time in years, I actually believe that. She waited for me outside the office building, thinner than I remembered, her face pale. Ethan, she whispered, please. Can we talk? I paused, then nodded once. 5 minutes. We walked to the cafe across the street. She wrapped her hands around a cup she never drank from. Her eyes trembled. I miss you, I stared. You miss control. You miss comfort. Don't lie. Tears welled. No, I miss you. I miss the man who loved me unconditionally. I leaned back. That man doesn't exist anymore. She flinched. Ethan, I was wrong. I was selfish. Ryan, he destroyed me. But you can. Fix me. I shook my head. I'm not your repairman. Her voice cracked. Please, just one more chance. I'll do anything. Where was that desperation when I begged you to stay? When you told me love wasn't enough? She covered. Her face? I was blind. No, I said firmly. You were cruel. Her shoulders shook. I can be different now. Better. For you. I let silence hang before answering. Different isn't enough. Trust is ashes. You can't build a home on ash. She reached across the table. Ethan, I still love you. I pulled my hand away. You love the idea of me, not me. Her tears spilled. Don't leave me like this. Don't walk away. You left me long before I signed those papers, she sobbed, trembling. I regret everything. Please, let me make it right. I stood slowly. Some mistakes don't get fixed. Her voice rose, panicked. Don't you hate me? Don't you want revenge? I looked down at her, calm. I don't hate you anymore. And revenge? That would mean you still matter to me. She gasped. I do matter. No, Lena. I said quietly. Not anymore. She followed me outside, grabbing my arm. Ethan, wait, don't leave me like this. I can't survive without you. I turned, meeting her desperate eyes. You told me once I'd regret letting you go. You were right. I regretted it. For a while. But now? Now I thank you. She blinked in confusion. Thank me? Yes. You taught me pain, but you also taught me strength. Without you, I never would have found myself again. Her face crumpled. So that's it? You're just going to walk away? Yes. She shook her head violently. No, you can't. We're not over. I leaned closer, whispering, We were over the moment you chose him. Her lips trembled. Please don't leave me standing here. I left you a long time ago. You just didn't notice. Claire called later that night. She came back. Didn't she? Yes. And what did you do? I told her the truth, that my life doesn't belong to her anymore. Claire's voice was warm. That's strength, Ethan. That's freedom. I smiled faintly. For the first time, I felt it. As I lay in bed, Lena's broken face haunted me for a moment. But instead of pain, I felt peace. I whispered to myself, my silent victory isn't revenge. It's walking away. And I knew, deep down, it was true.